Welcome to Enrichment of Mind, Body, and Soul. How are you guys doing today?
Excellent, excellent, excellent.
Doing great.
Every week it's such a joy for us to return here at Enrichment of Mind, Body, and Soul and to bring beautiful guests on so you can bring the food that the audience need. And Irene, we just want to welcome you here this evening because you're bringing such valuable information that the audience need.
Thank you so
And
much.
you're most welcome. And the thing is that when you join this space, you will be enriched. The food that we give to you, it's enriching. And it can able to feed you well. That when you leave here, you can say, I had a good appetite from enrichment of mind, body, and soul. And this evening, we got such an interesting topic, you know, and this topic is all about you. It's all about you. It's about your self discovery. Because many times, many conversations we have with people, they're saying that they really don't know where their life is heading. They don't know their purpose. They don't know their passion, you know. But again, every week we always say it starts with you and it starts within you. And the only way is to go within so you can discover who you are and that you can live a quality life, a life with value, a life with purpose, a life with passion. And you can be authentic. Whenever you show up, wherever you show up, you can be authentic because you're bringing something. You're bringing all of you. When you show up into spaces, you're bringing all of you. And this evening, Irene is going to help us to dive deep into that subject area, self-discovery, and unlocking your dreams. Because we all have dreams. But how are we unlocking it? What modalities are we using to unlock these dreams? Speaking about modality, how are you starting off your day? Do you have a modality that you're starting off your day with? Are you getting up early in the morning and being grateful, showing gratitude? Are you writing down 3 things that you're grateful for? And how are you ending off your day? How are you ending off your day? Are you ending off your day showing gratitude as well? So this evening, Irene is going to give us some tools that we can add to our toolkit and to help us to really move along life, living purpose and of value. Because she's going to help us to understand self-discovery and how we can discover ourselves and be authentic as we show up in the world. And the second half is another very interesting half of the show. Okay, it's going to help you to understand so much things about yourself, your DNA. It's going to help you to understand about ADHD. It's going to help you to understand more in depth why diseases are caused within our body. So it's so much things we're going to be unpacking here this evening. So if you know a friend that could benefit from this podcast this evening, we highly encourage you to share us out. And if this is the first time you're joining us, a very special welcome. And don't forget to subscribe to Soul Light and Body YouTube channel because you will never miss none of these interesting, informative, inspiring discussions. We just want to welcome you here to this space and just sit back, relax, and enjoy these 2 hours with us. Because when you leave here, as I said before, you will be walking away with something that could enhance your life. Or if you know someone, you can share this podcast so it can enhance their life as well. And don't forget to subscribe also for our digital and hard copy magazine. It's free. We do it all for you. Also, we have two books myself and Lady J and my daughter wrote. Your Gut in You and Self Care is Intentional. They are up on Amazon and you can go purchase them. And it all helps you to understand more about yourself.
Mhm.
We do it for you to help you to understand more about yourself. It's
Mhm.
all about you. It's all about you. So I don't want to take up much time. We got a lot to unpack this evening. So I'm now going to hand the mic to Lady J. Irene, welcome once again to Enrichment of Mind, Body, and Soul. And we know you got the goods. So we're going to sit back and listen.
Thank you so much, Lady K, for hosting me.
You're most welcome.
Yes.
Thank you, Lady K. Great
Thank
opening
you.
as always.
Thank you.
Where are you at this point, and to the audience who watching us live and catching us on the replay? You commenced 2025 with amazing goals, New Year's resolution, and all the good stuff, which is all good. But where are you at this point in time? Because we're into spring, March is moving through, the time is moving forward. But where are
Mhm.
you at this moment? Where are you at this moment? You might not have completed the things that you've estimated that you would have done. But tonight we want to say to you, show yourself grace. Show yourself love and compassion. You're doing the best you can. It's okay because some things takes time. But in order for us to achieve all the goals, all the aspiration, all the dreams, and everything that we have set in mind, first and foremost, we have to take care of ourselves.
Mm.
Because if we're not healthy and we're not strong and we don't have the level of vitality to move forward, we can't enjoy it. We can't enjoy it. So tonight we want to tell you and ask of you to nourish yourself. Nourish and nurture yourself. Nourish, select quality foods, good foods that would really nourish you and provide you with the right kind of nutrients that will able to keep you strong. But that's not the only aspect. That's not only aspect to live and have the level of vitality, the level of joy that you want to come forward and move in life with. We have to look at the other areas of our lives. Your spirituality, your physical activity. Are you moving enough?
Mhm.
Are you staying hydrated? And what are you listening to? What are you listening to that's going to keep you motivated, that move the clutter and the fogginess, and that you can have the level of clarity? Because clarity is very important. Because when we have clarity, then we can find the right direction. How do we move forward? How are we navigating through clutter? Are we decluttering
Mhm.
inner and outer? Does every room in your home represent what it is? Your kitchen, every room. Can you navigate through that? Because energy stays in a space. And how do you move through that? It's nice to just move in an organizational structure
Mm.
because you feel light, you feel great, you feel good. It's such a sense of joy to walk in your environment. It's a sense of peace. It's welcoming, it's calming. Are you celebrating your wins, big or small? Because you work hard to get there. And tonight we want to say to those of you who are taking those bold moves, whether it's failure, your setbacks, the no's, the rejections, but you push through that. So congratulations. You pushed through that because you did not allow that to keep you down. You have say to yourself, I'm gonna redirect. my energy, my focus, the no's, the setbacks, the defeats. And I'm going to use that to propel me forward because I know there is more in front of me that I'm going after, and use that as your level of drive to achieve whatever is it that you desire in your life. Gratitude to the people that you surround yourself with, who supports you or who uplift you, who motivate you, who's helping you to achieve the goals that you have in mind. And gratitude to yourself for who you are. Take time to pause. Take time to pause. Because there is so much busyness in life. Stop, hone in on that moment. Pause, whether it's meditation, whatever it is. But just stop, slow down, pause. Do it for you. Turn inwards. Get out in nature. Get inspired so that you can live the best. You can walk in your power, stepping in your purpose, moving with passion, and achieve all those dreams that you're thinking of. So tonight, we just want to say congratulations to you for everything that you're doing and where you are. And your past does not define you. Keep moving forward. My name is Lady J, Holistic Health and Wellness Certified Holistic Health and Wellness Coach. And we got a great show for you tonight. Sit back, relax, bring your friends on in. Let's all join in and listen to the presentations that we're going to have from Irene, Dr. Ross, Dr. J. Dunn. Great topics tonight. As Lady K said, you can always be fed well because this space is designed to enrich, empower, motivate, inspire you. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this 2 hours with us tonight. Irene is going to take the first half, and Dr. Raz and Dr. J. Down is going to take the second half. So, Irene, welcome to the space. It's such a joy and a true honor to have you to share the space with us tonight.
Thank you, Lady J. I'm very honored to be with you tonight and to share your space with this great audience. So I'm very excited for this moment, and I'm hopeful that I will be enriched from this program as well. Yeah, like I always say, when I share, I
Mm-hmm.
don't only give to others, but I give to myself too, because
Sure.
I reflect on what I say and what I talk about and what others talk about. So it's a great moment for me to be enriched as well.
Thank you so very much.
You're
And
welcome.
you're such an amazing person because you're a certified life coach, public speaker, person who create great connection, love connecting, and changing lives across the world because it's your passion, it's your purpose, and something you love. So tonight, just introduce yourself to the audience and tell us a little bit about yourself and what brought you to this moment where you are right now.
Okay, thank you again for allowing me to share about myself. Not many people get the opportunity to talk about who they are and what they do. So I take this as an honor and a privilege. So my name is Irene Nviiri, as you've heard, and I'm the founder of Emerge and SOA Consultancy Incorporation, and we do life coaching. And yeah, basically that's what we do. But this life coaching, we do it in a way that it starts with a very firm foundation, which I wish everyone could have so that they can have their life going. So I reside in Abbotsford in Canada, but my business is global. So I reach out to all people wherever they are for as long as they can access internet. And so what led me to here becoming a life coach, probably that will appear in my story if I have a chance to tell a little bit about me. But what led me to here is it started with the inner self. Lady J, while you are talking about what you're talking about earlier, really resonates with me because this takes inner work. There are certain things that people can do for us, but there are things that they will never be able to do for us unless we do it for ourselves or we allow them to do it for us. I'm reading an interesting book recently. It's called If It's to Be, It's Up to You. And it's written by Robert Schuller. It's some old book. I might be messing up with the title a little bit, but overall, that's what it means. If anything is to happen, you've got to put in the work. It starts with you. So that
Yes.
took me work to realize who I really am and what I want to be. Actually, what drove me to this point is asking myself some of the most important questions as I consider them that led me to my purpose. How do I want to serve this world? First of all, to serve me, because whatever I do serves me as well. If it's not good, I'm not serving it out. So if I don't like it, I'm not giving it out. So that means I have to first serve myself, and then I serve others with the goodness that I see in what I have, right? So what brought me to this is being able, wanting to serve and wanting to share what I have, my gifting, my skill, my experience with the world so that they can be transformed.
Yes.
If I answered your question.
Yeah. I mean, that is truly amazing. And just want to jump back in, and when you spoke about your inner self,
Mm-hmm.
it really starts with self-awareness. Know who you are, because knowing who you are is important, because you have self-awareness, you're going inwards, you're turning. And I think it's also essential to do the work on yourself. If you, there is healing, whatever past traumas, whatever it is, so that when we show up, we can show up fully, show up with our all, we can give everything, because we are walking in that space. The vibration, the energy is good when we exchange energy, whether it's to a person, whether it's in a group, whether it's a presentation, whichever area we are in, we show up and we bring that thing, that essence that we all have in us. And when we can tap into that space and that emerges and we share it with the world, it's profound. Would you agree? Can you hear me?
Sorry?
What do you say to that?
Sorry, I lost you a little bit.
No, I'm saying when we can show up, when you do the inner work, as you spoke about, you do the
Yes.
inner work, you take care of yourself, you have the level of self awareness.
Mm-hmm.
When you come into a space or you become a life coach or whatever is it that you're doing in life,
Mm-hmm.
you can come fully. That exchange can be fully. People can feel that energy from you, and that is how you create change. You create that level of impact, and as you said, you work globally, and so just to think about how many lives that you're impacting on a
Mm-hmm.
daily basis and all the time. So congratulations for doing all of that and really honing in and leaning into your calling.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But like I
It's
mentioned,
beautiful.
it takes work, and it takes acceptance as well. Is also the other thing, because sometimes we have things or we know things, but we don't want to take them on, or we are afraid of what will happen and stuff. But believing
Mhm.
in yourself is also one thing, because the start is not always easy. It could be simple when you have the steps to follow, but sometimes it takes several attempts and several, failures and several redirections for you to get to where you want to go. So if you're really firm and clear on what you're chasing after, regardless of what happens, you'll get there anyway. It might take you longer, but if you stick to that, you will get there. So yeah, thank you so much. Self-awareness is really key. You touched a very good
Right.
point, and probably we'll dive into that as we go along. But yeah.
Wow.
Thank you for talking about believing in yourself. That is why Karen and I created this band. If you could see it there, believe in yourself, because it's very important.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Thank you, Irene, Lady K.
You know, you touch on some key points there, believing in yourself and self awareness. Those are some very key pillars that we really need to build our foundation with if we want to stand strong, you know. And this bring me to this question for you, Irene. What
Yes.
challenges have you faced in your journey towards unlocking your dreams?
That's not a simple question though.
Right.
But I'll answer it anyway because I committed myself to be here, right? Head on. So, several challenges. But let me give you the first challenge as I face as an individual without talking about other people or the circumstances around me.
Right.
The fear of failure. That's why I said self-belief is very important. And clarity on what you want is also very important. That's why self-discovery comes in key. Knowing who you really are, the values you stand for. If you know your values, nothing is taking you away from that. If anything is not in alignment, it's a no. That you know. So it is simpler. It might not be easy, but it is simpler to say this is a no and this is a yes. But the doubt comes when you make attempts and you do not see the result, or you get a result that you did not expect. Then you start questioning yourself. Is this where I'm supposed to be? Is this what I'm supposed to do? Am I doing it right? Self-doubt can be seen as a negative, but because I'm a preacher of positive thinking, we can convert that to a positive in a sense that when that doubt kicks in, I have to ask myself a question. Is this really true? I'm afraid that I'm going to fail, but have I even reached there for me to be able to fail or pass? I haven't reached there. So if my mind tells me that I might fail, that is only a thought. So I separate my mind from me. And I'm like, you are you, I am me. So I have to challenge the doubt, but self-doubt is a thing. It has happened to me many times. And I'm grateful that I got the training of being a life coach that taught me a lot. Before you can coach anybody, you have to coach yourself first.
True, true,
That's so true.
true.
That is so
And
true.
that's why I said, if you remember in the
Yes.
beginning, I
Yes.
said that as I share with other people, I enlighten myself too, because I reflect on what I share. So at the end of the session, I'm going to sit aside and say, okay, I talked about ABC. How does this reflect in my life? Okay, so self-doubt is one thing. But how to counteract that is by questioning your mind. Is this really true? It's got to prove you right or wrong. But also the other thing is sometimes when I doubt myself, what I do actually is to remember those moments when I had doubted myself, but then things turned out differently. So I challenge my mind by saying, hey, last time you told me about this, but that was a lie. I'm going this way because that time it turned out differently. The other thing is sticking to the plan.
Yes.
This is the plan that I made for me to go. I'm sticking to it until I really see that it is not working. I have to give it the attempts that it requires, because sometimes you don't give it time. You attempt something once or twice, you're like, okay, I think this is not going to work. But have you given it enough time for you to realize that, yes, it is working or not? If you planted a seed, for example, a bean seed, it will germinate within maybe 3 to 5 days. If it takes longer than 5 days, you start questioning it. If it is 7 days, 10 days, you're like, yeah, I think this seed is dead. At least now you have the reason, you have kind of the evidence that this is not working. Don't scratch the seed out after 2 days when it has not germinated, because you haven't allowed it the time. So that is one way we can avoid self-doubt, by knowing that everything takes a process. For as long as you're concrete in the steps that you're supposed to follow. That's why laying a plan is very important. If you do not have a plan for anything, it is kind of challenging, because then you keep doubting yourself, you keep altering things, you distort the process. I don't know if you've ever seen bakers when they are leavening the bread, They don't even want to hear any noise. Like you can't bang the doors of the oven, for example, if you put it in the, not the oven, but that leavening equipment. I happen to work in a bakery, in a bakery section, but they have that leavening equipment whereby when you put the bread, you put it in there, it has steam and it has a certain temperature so that the yeast can grow. While that bread is there, even taking it out on the racks, you have to handle it as, I don't know, like a baby, because if you shake it or drop it, the bread drops. So some people, that's what they do. While their dreams are in the process of leavening, expanding, they distort the process, and so they kill
Yes.
the dream, or they get a lame dream.
Yes.
So one challenge is self-doubt, but the other challenge is the outside noise. I said I'm starting with me because most of the time I'm in control. Actually, I'm in control. Whatever happens around me, it's up to me to interpret it the way I want to interpret it, to perceive it the way. If I don't put it in my mind, it's not going in. Believe me, if I block it off, it's not. I'm in control. My gates are firm. My locks are on. But the moment I open up to the outside or perceive it the way other people want me to perceive it, I'm gone. So it starts with me. Then to the people. If you open your ears so wide to the irrelevant noise, what I would call the noise, because people will say, the world will say, the society will kind of put those standards and everything around us, but we do not have to conform. That's why the process of self-discovery is very key. If you know your values, you're not conforming to what is not.
True.
If you know your aspirations, you're not conforming to what is not, because that's not for you. What is your purpose in life to begin with? If you do not know your purpose, believe me, you're going to hit all the walls, bounce back and go back and hit there and there because you're not focused. But if you know your purpose, regardless of what is being said about it, that is who you are anyway. You're going to remain true to yourself and you're going to do it. Because if you
Wow.
teach yourself, as a matter of fact, we all want to be loved, we all want to be liked. So if that's what is true for you, if you have those values, because values are never negative things, am I right?
True.
All values are positive things from what I know. So if all values are positive things and you have values, you'll never do anything to harm another individual. So I'm not even saying don't do this, don't do this. No one is there to tell you what to do and what not to do. Your values will inform your decisions and actions. So be firm, be strong in your values. Know who you are, what you stand for, what you're looking for, what your purpose is in life. And then the outside noise, definitely it will fade because you have no time and focus for that. You only be focusing on that which you chose to focus on. So I think those have been my two major challenges, myself and the noise from the world. But I think I know how to counteract each.
Wow. Wow. I just want to say hello to Dr. CJ in the house. And I mean, that was so profound. I mean, you fed us just in that moment. We were so filled, right, Lady K. We were
Yeah.
so filled because there's so many things you spoke about. But when you talk about our values, when you talk about self doubt, and when you bring in the analogy of the bakery and how we should take care and not to, you brought in even a little bit of agriculture with germination and seed and every single thing, but everything that you spoke in that moment was so strong, was so powerful because we, as we have a friend which has a quote as well that said, when your value is clear, Dr. Jonas, when he said, when your value is clear, your decision is easy, because you hone in on your value, you can make clear decision, you know what you don't want and you know what you want. And because with a level of clarity, it helps you, it helps one, enables one to move forward in the direction that you need to go to achieve whatever it is that you're going after.
Exactly.
Lady K?
Wow. It's truly amazing when we can come together and we can share because there's so many things that could unlock. In these spaces is a lot of enrichment. There's a lot of unlocking of information.
A lot of keys
Yeah, that can help an
to open up.
individual. Yeah, that can help an individual to understand more about themselves, because a lot of times we are there, we are sitting and we're asking ourselves so many of questions, because self-discovery is not an easy process. It takes time. It takes, as Irene said, believing in yourself,
First of all, right?
and many times we are not believing in ourselves, we're not believing in our dreams. And because of that, self-doubt creeps in. And when self-doubt creeps in, is a whole lot of cascade of things start to happen in our lives. And as Irene emphasized on the outside noise, because a lot of times the outside noise drowned us. And when we're drowned with the outside noise, sometimes it takes us a while for us to really surface and swim to bring ourselves back. So, in order for us to really stand firm, we got to believe in ourselves. We have to believe in our values. And we also, as Irene rightfully said, we have to have clarity. Clarity is so important.
Super.
Irene, my next question to you is, how has your understanding of your own identity evolved over time?
Identity in terms of what should I say? In terms of business, or in terms of
Both.
both business and
Both.
personal?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it has evolved indeed. To begin with, by the way, I'm from Uganda. That's the country where I'm originally born and raised. So I came to Canada in 2017. So you can tell that I was already profound in my culture, no doubt. So understanding myself in this country where I am, or keeping myself rooted in my culture before I came to this country, helped me a lot, because otherwise I think I would have lost myself already. It has evolved in a sense that I coming here, I've seen so many cultures, first of all, because this is a multicultural country, which is great. So we have room, but everyone does things differently.
Right.
Knowing my culture, and that is actually among my values. Culture is a strong value that I can't, because there's no way I can forget myself. I need to be able to acknowledge myself. I need to be able
Right.
to know that I'm different and I am who I am, and I'm unique in my own way, just like every one of us is. So that alone gives me the strength to know that since I was created different and unique, just like every one of us is, I've got to stand in my space, or in my gap. So I take up my space, right? So coming here in Canada and realizing, okay, I haven't met so many Ugandans, maybe. I have met several, but before I hadn't met so many. And that brought me to think, how do I fit in? Where do I go? Who do I talk to? If I needed to speak my language, if I needed like my food or whatever, where do I go? Of course, it takes time to look around. But I also realized that there are some other, for example, African cultures, which are similar to mine. People would be from the West or from the East, wherever, but they are kind of similar to mine. So understanding my culture or my identity as a person, and then looking at other people, has brought me to an appreciation of people's cultural values specifically, because I value mine. I want to make sure that I respect and value the other people's culture.
Sure.
And so that brought me also to many things by the opportunities, because one of the things I do is to train youths in our traditional dance. And I also train seniors, not training per se, but they have programs whereby they are encouraged to move their bodies, to keep them functional, but they want a rhythm. So I have a chance also to help out the seniors in movement. So We play the music. I show them some, dance moves and stuff, and we do it. They clap, they jump, they laugh, they do everything, and that's great. So my culture is serving. It also took me a time to realize that, yes, my culture is unique, but I can use it in a way that people will appreciate it. How will people know about me when I say I'm from Uganda? People are like, where is Uganda? East Africa. And then what happens? They want to know more about Uganda. But one way I can showcase my country or my culture is by performing in a dance or something. And that is working out very well for me, to the extent that recently I moved to a different city like 2 years ago, and I realized there was not so much going on in terms of culture. And this city has several cultures, people from all walks of lives. But I'm like, all walks of life, sorry. And I'm like, so what do we do? So Black History Month came, and I was not seeing so much happening. So I was propelled to reach out to the city offices. And guess what? They partnered with me to produce an event, the first one of its kind that was recognized in the city as a Black History event.
Wow.
So
Congratulations.
Thank you very much, to appreciate my culture. So that's why still, when we are talking about self-discovery, I talk about those topics like alignment and authenticity. Be authentic, be you. Because if you try to be someone else, whoever is looking for you is not going to find you.
True.
It's not going to find you. So make sure that however much you want to adapt in the environment where you are, be selective of what you adopt. Adapt and adopt. Adapt to the environment where you are so that you can thrive, but be selective of what you adopt so that you keep your identity.
Right.
We might make adjustments here and there. Great. For example, when I came, I had a strong British accent and an African accent, because Uganda we speak British English, and anytime you start school, you'll be taught in English, but the British English. So when I came to Canada, I knew that I knew English really well. My written was very good, but my spoken was not good as per Canadian standards, because their accent is different. The way they pronounce words is different, right? So because of that, I had to adopt a certain way of speaking so that I can be able to communicate with them. So that also took me an understanding of, yes, I'm different from these people, but how do we again connect? So I didn't have to stick to my Luganda and British accent. I had to shift a little bit so that I can be able to communicate with these people. And that was one of the ways I could mingle and mix with them and work with them. So observe, know yourself, observe your identity, but also give room for other people to be a part of you, because if you do not interest them, they are not going to be interested anyway. And if you're not interested in yourself, whom do you expect to be interested in you?
True.
So you're the very best person to promote you. No one else is going to promote you.
Wow. You're serving us so beautifully well, Irene. There's so many pointers that came out of that conversation that you expressed. First, inspired action that you created your event. You know, the level of confidence that you share. Where do you draw that inspiration from? What gives you that level of confidence to go forward and move on that level? Talk to us about that.
Wow. Okay, so this brings me to a personal story. I have 36 siblings. Okay?
How many?
36
Three,
36.
6.
siblings.
Wow, that's huge.
So, growing
Wow.
up in such an environment brought up a level of competition.
Mm.
Sometimes it was bad competition, sometimes it was good competition. other than competition, it brought up a character in me of confidence that if I did not speak up, I was forgotten. So if I wanted something, and I was my own advocate, because I lost my mom at the age of 4. So I grew up with aunties, stepmoms, and all those very nice people in a way that they nurtured me to be the person you're seeing today, because what we are today is informed by the
Right.
past.
Exactly.
Yes.
I appreciate all those women that did their best to raise me. But because they were also minding their business in some way, I wasn't their entire business, because they had their children too.
Right, right.
So most of the time I had to really push through for me to get what I wanted. For example, if we're going back to school and we have to, I used to be in a boarding school. So if you have to make a list of the requirements that you need, and then maybe you're asking, I would say, I'm just going to give an example. If you asked for $200 for all the requirements, and then my dad goes like, I don't have the money. He'll chop it into half, and he wants to give you half. So $100, you're looking at all these requirements, pocket money and everything. You're like, this is not enough. So you have to speak up anyway. If you do not, you're going with 100, but it's not enough. Why? Because other people also need. So as a dad, he was doing his best to provide for all of us. But if you pushed a little more, you could get more. So that's one thing from my childhood. But also the train, because I think what should I say? I'm an outgoing person in a way that I always want to involve myself in things. And when I don't know something, I want to really know what it is. So I ask and all that. When I was in school, I did all sports. I did all games. I did music, dance, and drama. Almost, I was all over the place. Not because I was the best or the perfect. I was, of course, the best in some areas, but not all. But because I always wanted to know everything, I always want to get, how does this work? I always wanted to be a part of everything. So I think that also raised my level of confidence, because much as I wasn't the best, but I did it anyway, right? And if they chose the team and they have their top 12, at least I'll be on the side waiting. If someone doesn't show up, I substitute
You're
them.
there.
If
Yeah,
someone is tired or injured, I substitute them. At least I did something, right? So when I add up all that, it brings me to the person you're seeing today. But the other thing that raises my level of confidence is because I know that I'm standing in my calling. I know that I'm standing in my purpose. What is my purpose? Transformation. And when I talk about transformation of minds, if your mind is transformed, everything of yours is transformed. And where does the transformation stem from? It stems from self-discovery, because there is no way you're going to be transformed before you know all those things. You don't know your values. You don't know your strengths and skills. You don't know your gaps or your weaknesses. You do not know your passions. You do not know your aspirations. Where is the transformation going to come from? So if you know your purpose, which is your end goal, for example, then you can work backward to get to where you want to go, because then you come back to where you are, realize the gap, and then you do something that fills up that gap. That's how the transformation occurs, right? Your mindset is very important to yield to this transformation. So my confidence stems from that, because I'm really very clear of what I want to do and how I want to do it. I'm very clear on the things I want and the things I don't want, and I know my space. So if I'm operating in my space, why not be confident?
True.
It's not that I know everything. As
right.
a matter of fact, I learn every single day. And another thing that raises my confidence, actually, when I realize that it is the growth mindset that I have, because what the growth mindset tells me, or it teaches me, is that I can grow, I can expand, I can get better. So because I know that even if I made a mistake today, my mind tells me, you've made this mistake, you can do better, you can get better. So because I carry that confidence with me that I can get better, I do not shy away. I do not dim my light because I do not know or I'm not sure of something. If I don't know, I'll ask. If I don't have anyone to ask, I will do something to find the solution at least. If it is an experiment I have to do, I'll experiment. If it doesn't work out, well and good.
Yes.
I
Yes.
had never done gardening here in Canada, and I did it last year. I planted a lot of things. I think about 6 plants, different plants. I failed at many, but I got 2 which thrived really well. So next time I know if I'm planting, I'm not bothering with ABC. I'm going to do 1 and 2 because now I'm confident that last time they did well. I think I did the right thing. Let me do it again. So I give myself, you talked about giving ourselves the grace. I give myself the grace. When I fail, I'm failing forward.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
failing forward. I'm getting up and going. I don't allow to fall backward. I'm falling forward. Face down, yes, but my hands are down. I can't get up.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Wow.
You're amazing. You're
Yes.
truly, truly amazing.
Yes.
You're
Thank you,
amazing.
ladies.
You're inspiring. You're all of that and much so much more.
You
Because
too.
I like how you thank you. I like how you talk about failing because sometimes I think when we fail, we it is a setback. We feel it's a setback, and sometimes it's hard for us to push beyond that because yeah, we may pause for a moment and we may sit there for too long. But
Mhm.
what you're saying that when you fail or you whatever it is that you don't it doesn't seem right, or it may be a setback or it didn't work the right way, but because of the level of confidence, because you know who you are, because of self-discovery, because of self-awareness, you know that I can push forward, I can do better. I'm not going to let my light dim in this moment, but I'm going to push forward. Wow.
Truly amazing. Yes.
Truly amazing.
Thank you.
Global.media have a question.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Clarity about our purpose guides us. Why do so many fail to believe they are destined for huge impact?
Hmm.
Good question, Global Media.
Yes. Would you like me to answer that?
Yeah,
Sure,
go right ahead.
So why do
Yeah,
so
sure.
many fail? Can I see the question again, please?
sure.
Okay, clarity about our purpose guides us. Yes. Why do so many fail to believe they are destined for huge impact? Okay,
Thanks for the
believe.
question, Global.media. Sorry, go
Mhm.
ahead. Hmm.
Yes. So you talked about purpose, clarity, and belief. I have a saying, I don't know where it is right now, but it says it is possible if you dream and believe. If you dream and believe, you will become. But sometimes we forget the other thing, which is action.
Mm,
Right, right.
so
The
good.
action.
That is so, so
So
true.
it
Thank
is
you.
all possible. If I said it is possible, it is possible. How is it
Right.
possible? You have the dream. You've got to believe in the dream. You've got to put the action that accompanies the belief. And then you will become or you will get that which you want to get. So why do so many fail to believe or to attain the goals or to make the impact? It's because, remember the self-doubt I talked about?
Right.
They do not give themselves time, first of all. Because this belief, when we talk, actually, in my coaching program, I go through life categories. And when I do these 11, 12 categories of life, including health and fitness, finances, we talk about family, we talk about the social life and all that, I want people to tell me the purpose in each area. Why would you want that in that area? What do you believe, first of all? Because if your belief is negative, it's not going to yield to that which, like, you're contradicting yourself.
True.
For example, if I said, I want to live up to 100 years, and then I have a belief which says, when people grow old, they are useless. Or I would say, but people never go beyond 80 years. I'm already contradicting myself. So I'm already breaking I have this belief which is not empowering my goal, or which is not empowering my vision. But what would be the purpose for me to live up to 100 years? There has to be a purpose attached to that goal. I want to live up to 100 years because by then, for example, I'll give myself an example. For me, my children will have gotten their own children probably, and those children will have gotten their children. I want to live and see my great-great-grandchildren, number one. Number two, I feel that I can still do much, but by the time I've realized my true purpose in life, I'm already in my 30s. So I need time to make sure that I do all those things that I envision to do. So if I'm going to end my life at 70, I don't think I'll have done all of them. So I need the time.
Yes.
Why? Because I'm living in Canada right now. I'm talking on a global channel right now, but I don't know if everyone has heard my voice yet. I don't know if everyone has experienced my services yet. I don't know if I've done the impact that I purpose to do. So the longer I stay and I keep doing what I want to do, and I keep doing the thing that I want to do, the wider I'll get. So I need to stay on this earth longer. Then, how do I stay on this earth longer? What do I do to feed this vision?
Yes.
Am I fueling it? Or am I extinguishing the fire? Sometimes we are extinguishing the fire ourselves, by the way.
Yes.
Intentionally or unintentionally. Said you want to live up to 100 years, but you're drinking yourself silly. You're not exercising. Exercising does not mean to say that you have to go to the gym. I don't go to the gym, I think, ever since I've been to the gym like maybe 3 or 4 times, long time ago. But I exercise on a daily. How? Where? In my house. Or I run around on the street, or I walk on the park. Or I jump in the same place and I jump 100 times. Isn't that good exercise for my heart and my blood to flow?
Yes.
Or you say, I want to live up to 100 years, but you're not taking good care, you're not sleeping enough, you're not taking good care of your body, you're aching and all that, but you don't want to see the health practitioners, you don't want to eat well, you're eating the foods that are going against your health, and you want to live up to 100. So when you have a dream, you believe, you take inspired action, intentional action, which has to fit in the vision. As a matter of fact, shoot at your vision, walk backward, start where you are and start walking forward with intention. And sometimes people lose the belief or lose the goal because they are only looking at this big goal. But we have to learn to break down the goals into sub goals. And we've got to learn to celebrate all the wins, the small wins and the big wins.
Yes.
I do that in my coaching too. Even if it is something small. Sometimes I'm in the house here and I'm clapping and I'm jumping and I think, my daughter sometimes runs and says, hey, mommy, what is happening? I'm like, I'm so excited. Tell me, what is going on? Because when I get this small or big win, I'm celebrating it.
Yes.
And the more you celebrate, you acknowledge that I can get this. Now you've started. That fuels your next step.
Of course.
To get the bigger, and that fuels your next step to get there. The problem is we are looking at it like this. You're looking at a already made house. But who told you that this house drops from somewhere, from heaven, and it is done? The roofing, the windows, the plaster, the paint and everything, plumbing is all done. No. It started in a foundation. When they dig the hole, celebrate after digging the hole. Yes, this is my first step. You start laying the foundation, the first bricks. Yes, now the building is coming up. You build it and you put the shell, you put the roofing. Now you don't have the windows. When you put, everything takes a step. By the time you
Yes.
see this full house already done, it took work, it took time, and there are certain things that had to be done before the others. You can't start painting before building the walls.
True.
So if you're waiting for paint to celebrate, why don't you celebrate the walls that are being made, first of all?
So true. So true.
So that
So
sometimes
true. So true.
does not allow people to achieve their dreams because they lose the hope or the
Yeah.
belief halfway, because they have not learned to acknowledge and appreciate the small wins, because the small wins create bigger wins. I have a habit of gratitude.
So are
Even
us.
the
Yeah.
tiniest thing, I'll say I'm very grateful. The more you get grateful, the more the bigger doors open
The
for you
more
to
you
get
attract.
more, be
Yes.
more grateful.
Yes.
So if you're looking at achieving a dream, if you do not want to lose your belief, you don't want to lose your focus, look at this dream in a bigger way, but break it down into smaller parts, tangible, tiny things that can be done. You remember the house we are talking about? Handle one brick at a time, because you're going to get a lineup of bricks cemented together. That will be a wall. But don't first wait for it to be all done. It will take a while. So if you're waiting for it to be done for you to be grateful, how are you living your life without gratitude?
True.
What keeps you going? So yeah, appreciating the small wins, I think, helps us to stay focused and achieve the big dreams. And breaking down the big dream into small goals that can be achieved, as time goes by. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. This was a treat.
It's more than a true. I mean, it. Look,
Thank you.
you're
Yeah.
truly an amazing person.
Yeah, this was a treat. This was
Yeah.
a treat. There's
Wow.
Thank
so
you.
much pointers. And you know what I love about the explanation? You make it so simple
Mm-hmm.
that someone can understand by the examples that you give. You give the examples with the seed. You give the example with the house that you cannot paint if you don't have the walls. Many times we're looking for things in our lives, but we got to break these things down to smaller parts. And as I like when you said appreciate, show gratitude for the small things that you have accomplished in your life. You have given us some real good tools this evening. And to the audience, I know you're going to really walk away with some great pointers here this evening, because Irene break it up very simple for you. Very simple. Lady J?
Wow. 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 You took us into agriculture because you talk about germination. You took us to the bakery. You took us to construction because I think when we share and we share stories and we use images where we can visualize, we thinking about a house and building a structure and laying a foundation. I think we all can go there and think about, well, how do you start to build a house? And as you explained that you got to lay the foundation first, but you give gratitude because the foundation is laid. And as you see the bricks and you erecting the walls and every single thing, things are moving forward. And you give gratitude because as that is started and that is moving forward, the others will follow through too as well. So don't just wait until the completion of whatever is happening. As you spoke about, we like to say start from the end, because when you live from the end, then you already visualize what does it feel like for me to get there. You start to embrace that with a level of emotion. You're putting yourself into a state, what does this feel like? And then you're painting that picture in your mind. You're using your imagination. You're using your visualization, because you can see whatever is it that you're going after, and you're living from the end. Then you're taking that inspired action. And when you start to take the inspired action, You working your way towards achieving that, because then your focus is clear. You know exactly what it is am I going after. You know exactly what you want. And so you're not entertaining any distraction, because you're zooming in. This is what I want to achieve. This is what I'm going after. And my clarity is going to move me forward to that in that direction. We want to thank you so much for coming into this space and really motivating us, inspiring us, uplifting us, educating us on how we should really look at life and moving in the level of self-discovery, moving in self-awareness. I even like about it when you talk about putting the right kind of food in your body, because we're big on that too,
Mm.
and focusing on so many areas, because if you want to live and not only survive but thrive, then there's so many factors that should be aligned to help us to achieve all is it that we're going after in
Mm.
this life. That is why we're going to do a series with you. So you're going to come back in return and just pour more into us and help us to embrace more self discovery, help us to embrace our living and how do we want to live and the level we want to live at to achieve our greatness. So we just want to say thank you. And thanks
You're very
to
welcome.
everyone who tune in and participate and who is going to be catching us on the replay, because you really served us well tonight, Irene. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. I do really appreciate your kind words. And it's an honor, like I said, for me to be able to share this space and to share with the audience. As I share, I uplift myself too.
Yes.
Yes, I gain more from, just like, for example, yesterday I was at an exhibition and someone was asking me a question. And when they asked, I'm like, I've never thought so much about this. But when she asked me, like my eyes just opened up and I'm like, I think I need to reflect on this more. So every time I'm out there or here to talk to people, I make sure that I go away with something. It's
Mhm.
not, yeah. While I pour out, I fill my cup at the same
Right,
time. Yeah.
right,
Yes.
And
right.
self-reflection is really very, very important. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Irene, for
That's so
coming today.
beautiful. That every
Yes, thank
this
you.
was such a treat,
Yes,
indeed.
yes.
Thank you.
And to the audience, look out for many more parts with Irene, because we're gonna be having her back as one of our special guests on Soul Light and Body, and back on enrichment of mind, body, and soul as well, because she's got so much more things that she's gonna unpack to enrich your life. Irene, thank you once again for being a part of this space this evening. We appreciate you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you, ladies, for hosting me. And yeah, I'm excited about our next program and I can't wait. I'm
And
just ready to go.
yeah,
Thank you.
to the audience, connect with Irene today.
Yes.
Yes.
All our
All,
information is in the. No, you go. You go.
no, sorry, Lady J. You go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you go.
All of Irene information is in the show notes, so just go connect with her and get more enrichment from her.
Hmm. You're all welcome. All welcome. Let's
Thank
have
you,
a
Irene.
chat.
Have a blessed week.
Yeah, you too, ladies.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Mhm.
Hi, Dr. Ross. How
Hi,
are you
Dr. Ross.
doing?
Welcome.
Hello, how's my audio, ladies? Can you
Loud
hear
and
me?
clear.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Excellent,
Nice to see
excellent.
you.
Glad to be here. How are we doing tonight? The show's going well so far.
Oh, thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you.
Yes, it was very enlightening. I thought I had a big family. Whoa.
Yeah.
Um, I do not
Wow.
have a big family, I learned. Um, and there was some very interesting pointers and some conversation going on there. The introspection and as well as looking out, and the combination of both, I think, is pretty unique into trying to complete yourself. We usually do one or the other, right? Either look in or we look out. But to
Sure.
have the combination of both, I think she's onto something. So thanks for that.
Thank you.
Thank you
And
for being here,
yeah,
taking the
thank you
time
for
to
being
be here
here.
with us this evening.
No problem, no problem. It worked out very well. I was on a podcast this morning with THT, the Happiness Tribe, and Dr. Dunn and myself, and we had a good conversation. And I think this audience again is a particular audience, and I wanted to be in this evening as well to talk with you ladies and bring the conversation to a different level than we had this morning,
Yes.
even though we had a really good one this morning. So I'm glad to be here. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. And can you introduce yourself to our audience?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, well, Lady K, Lady J, I am Dr. Ross, and that's RAS, because I'm really a scientist. So, I am a neurotrauma endocrinologist. And what that means is basically I study the brain, I study damage to the brain and hormones. And how can we understand reproductive hormones and how can they impact recovery after brain trauma by impacting neurogenesis, the regeneration of new brain tissue. So that's kind of what I study preclinically, looking at, we use animal models to come up with drug developments that impact the hormonal system that can help with cognitive um, issues after brain trauma, stroke, Alzheimer's, things like that, traumatic brain injury. Also work in the biomedical space as far as STEM education. And, we educate pre-med as well as graduate students, so MD, PhDs. We do STEM training, so science, technology, engineering, mathematics, but also into STEAM when you add arts, and then into STREAM when you add research. So we educate in the community and bring these terminal degree career exposure experiences to individuals in our community in the K through 12 as well as early as we can, and then we also serve in that higher education and professional space to guide and train them. And so I'm here in College Park, right outside of Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm on a mission to bring the college back to College Park. I'm Jamaican made and American raised. I don't know where we want
Like
to go
that.
from here.
I like that. Jamaican, Jamaican race. Repeat what you said. Jamaican
I was Jamaican made and American
and
raised. I
raised.
was born in Jamaica and I grew up in New York City.
That's so beautiful. That
Yeah,
is
it
so
is.
beautiful. It's such a joy for you to be sharing space with us tonight, and we know that you're going to enlighten us. You're going to uplift us. You're going to take us through the cutting edge of science and technology, because things are moving in different ways in our lives right now, and what we used to be and what it used to be in the past. Things are moving forward and it's evolving, and so you're going to share with us tonight how we can have that open mindset, that growth mindset, so that we can able to expand that level of knowledge, and so that we can receive and uplift and move forward, living the life and merging that life that we can all enjoy and embrace AI, technology, every single thing.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And actually it's more of a, meet you where you at, where
True.
the audience is watching us have a conversation. And it's literally just that. It's a conversation where we're discussing something that's real in our real world. As you said, we're in a new place. Ever since COVID, we've you can see and understand that behaviorally, we're in a different place, socially, economically. Um, and while that might scare a lot of people, I think of it as almost like the springtime. It's new opportunity. It's opportunity for a brave new world in which you can design and create. And so to
Mhm.
understand that, I thought it was important to understand ourselves and bring something
Well,
to the table that utilizes technology, but help you better understand the human, right? So then we can demystify this AI technology and this kind of thing, excuse me, that we have and realize that just like a calculator, just like a vehicle, um, just like a computer, these are tools. They're just more advanced tools that we've created to aid us in this life we lead. And so it's some fun and exciting things. And I'm hoping Dr. Dunn, Jay Dunn, can join us so we can really get into some My Happy Genes discussion. But before we do that, we can definitely, if I can share my screen here, let's see. Give me a second. We share screen. Okay. And you should be seeing that. I guess I can do the window here. Okay, here we go. So you can let me know if you see that screen there. Should say Dr. Ross or Dr. Geddes actually.
Okay, there we go.
Can you
Yes, we
can
can
you see
see.
that?
Yes,
Yes,
we
there
can
we
see that.
go.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, again, Dr. Ross, R-A-S, because it's the first letters of my name, which is short for
Hmm.
Rastafari, which is short for Rastafarian. Again, the Jamaican thing. But
Right.
again, I'm really a scientist, so I study the brain, and I actually travel around with human and animal brains, and we teach people about their five senses and how it connects to your brain and why everything you'll ever know is due to your brain and why it's important to have brain health and to be able to understand yourself as well.
Wow.
And with that, we do that through a program called My Brain in Me, which I created a curriculum, again, which you learn about your five senses and then traumatic brain injury and different types of brain injury and what that means. And then what I do as a research scientist to understand how do we help with that on the biomedical side. And then also we have something interesting, and I'm going to do this with you in a second with the Real Authentic Styles, which is a clothing company that's based on self-expression. And I'll get that to you in a second. But again, you can see the RAS, Real Authentic Styles. And then there's GNN, Geddes Neural Network, which is Geddes, my last name. And neural is brain and network. So my professional brain or my professional network around the world is kind of how I work. And then I operate in that space of traumatic brain injury awareness, as well as biomedical education in that space. So it's important to be an advocate with the laws and things like that as well as giving back in mentorship and not only in a community but also professionally, right? And guiding the next generation of scientists and doctors. So that's kind of a gist about me here. Let me know if the window skips. Do you see a different window, a hacktonia, or no?
Not as yet.
Probably.
1 second.
Okay. No, it didn't switch. Give me a second. Okay. So I hope I didn't speak too fast and you heard a bit of that, but that was just a little bit about myself. And with that, let's see, we'll go here. Give me 1 second, another share. Here. Courses made fuel. Let's do okay. So with the GNN, I'll share that there. You let me know if you see that.
Yes, it's on the
It,
screen
Yes.
now,
Hmm.
Dr. Ross.
We can
okay.
Yes.
see that.
You should see a GNN, again, Getty's Neural Network Global Foundation. So I formed a 501c3 nonprofit organization that works in that healthcare space of medical education, but also in the practical space of providing care in the community as far as research and educational awareness. And so this is kind of just a little view of that, but it's the healthcare as well as research. But then we have activities and things like that as well, that you can do in that space because you can visit like the VA hospital and have activities, to that community as well as community centers. So there are different opportunities, and I'm just sharing a little bit of this here. Um, just so you guys have a kind of idea of the space that I work in, then I get to some of the technology. But I say all that to say, working in the community, it's also important to have partnerships.
It's
And
Yes.
important,
so
yes.
this is where that comes in now because that having that global network, I'm able to have international and national partnerships. So working in healthcare space, you can see this company here called Dicella. It's a company that is from Poland, and what this company does is actually manage clinical data, and that clinical data again, digital clinical data that is tied to the blockchain, so for accountability and transparency. But what's really cool is, as you can see here, that's Dr. Ross, that's me, this is Dicella, the company we're looking at. But Boyette Health Services is a chronic management care company in Alabama, and then Kilroy Blockchain again is digital uh, credentialing and provenance ownership, and out of Arkansas. We have Patient Medcare, which is in Florida. And then we have Dr. Dunn and My Happy Gene, which I'll get to in a second. But these are all organizations I've been able to pull together within that GNN network to be able to actually even work on an actual real clinical trial. And I'll speak to that a little bit, but we are, putting together and again looking for investors in that space and looking at a clinical trial that's looking at the comorbidity of dry eye disease and depression because there's a big comorbidity with that. And we're looking at the genetical components of that using my happy gene. Um, so I will close that window and then I will jump to my happy gene here, just so then you guys can see what that is here. Okay, so, and I'm going to give me 1 second. I'm going to actually have any questions, but let me just pull up my happy genes and I'll leave that on the screen so people can absorb. And I
Right.
will take a second here while I text Dr. Dunn. And then any questions you lady may have from what I just said while I take a breath and then we can go for another round.
Well, I mean, you are truly amazing in all the amazing things that you're doing with partnership, collaboration, and you're changing lives. You're helping humans, I mean, understand on a deeper level, which I think you spoke about mindset, because as we continue to evolve and realizing the technology and the level of advancement, how we can, partnership is so important and collaboration is so important so that we can help each other. You can help the community to able to advance forward with a lot of knowledge because knowledge is power, correct?
Absolutely. It is the ultimate power.
So we are great. We are truly grateful that you are able to be in this space and to really enlighten us and the audience as well. What's really going on? What is on the cutting edge right now, and how it's important that we just open our mindset and embrace this moving forward. Great collaboration with so many companies and bringing and helping to really level up the healthcare system. Is that right?
Yes, you have to be in the game. Well, I have a saying, that you have to play the game to win, but you don't have to play the game to lose.
Love that. You
Yes.
got a lot
And
of
that's
sayings.
where that's where we are, right? In a
Mhm.
lot of places. And if you have that mentality, you understand that you have to do the work. Because if you
Yes.
don't do the work, it's a disservice to you and to your
Yes.
community, right?
True.
It's
Yes.
just the world that you want to live in. I jokingly say this, but there's so much truth to it that I'm very selfish, but a lot I want to make the world better for a selfish reason because I want to live in a better world. I want to live in a better world. So
Yes.
the more people that you can help be better in the world, then
Yes.
when I'm not able to do
Yes.
and think for
Right.
myself, I'm in a
Yes.
better world. And that's very selfish. But at the end of the day, if
Yes.
the means is helping people, I don't
Yes.
Right.
think that's
Right.
such a bad thing.
No, it's
Yes.
not a bad thing. You're
Yes.
making a
Yes.
difference.
Yes.
You're
So
living
true.
in you're living intentionally.
Yes.
You're moving with
Thank you.
intention.
So with that being said, I do want to ground us to something concrete here because I don't want to just speak kind of, in parables and anything like that, but actually speak about some concrete concepts and ideas. So let me jump back to my happy genes here for a second and what we're talking about. Um, let's see here if this, let me know if this plays. If you
Every day, millions of us follow the same health advice: 8 hours of sleep.
audio is probably choppy.
It's
Let
playing.
me
It's
It's
send
playing,
good.
you.
It's
Dr.
good.
Ross.
It's good,
Yes.
Dr. Ross. Yes.
Oh, it was playing. Oh, okay, okay. Let
Yes.
me go
Yeah,
back.
we can hear.
Sorry. Okay,
Yes.
sorry,
No,
guys.
it's okay.
Let's do that. Oh, mm, okay.
Every day, millions of us follow 8 hours of sleep, 8 glasses of water. Your sister needs 8 hours of sleep, but you're energized after 6. And you gain weight on the same diet that others weigh on. These aren't random differences. They're your genes. Your genes are like an instruction manual from your parents, how your body makes key chemicals. But they are only one piece of the healthy you puzzle. While genes stay fixed, you can adjust how efficiently their instructions are carried out through targeted nutrition and supplements. My happy genes, we go beyond basic genetic testing. While others look at isolated genes, we analyze the complex interactions between your genetic variants, your biochemistry, and the environment. This synthesis of information is what sets us apart. In fact, we have a patent on the process. And because genetics isn't your first language, we have trained practitioners who guide you through your results and suggest the best lifestyle practices for reversing persistent health challenges and protecting you for the future. With My Happy Genes, you'll understand your body's unique blueprint and how to work with it. Our testing provides reports on mood and personality, diet and lifestyle recommendations, your biochemistry, and more. Your genes are unique. Shouldn't your health choices be too? Visit myhappygenes.com and discover what your DNA is trying to tell you.
Okay. So what are we talking about here? So my happy genes and epigenetics. So, your genetics are your genes, your DNA that makes up who you are and what you are. But that is played out then into actual proteins and enzymes and macromolecules that make up the physical, components of you. And how those work functionally then will make up your physiology, your biology, your anatomy. So we're all the same, yet we're all different. So we call
Yes.
these individual differences. And these individual differences then will lead to us working just a little bit differently. And you can see like with twins or siblings or families that are more closely genetically related that have similarities in these genes that you get from your mother and your father, your parental figures, right, that make you up, your makeup. Based on that and the actual proteins and enzymes that they create, how those actually work and the speed that they work at is very important and can be impacted by life. The biggest thing is nutrition, but then the wear and tear of life. And so this is what epigenetics is, basically all the life stuff that happens on top of these genes. That's what epigenetics is. So then we think about lifestyle, nutrition, right? These different kind of things then play a role inside of your epigenetics and how that plays out in your overall health, right? So then when we look at health and wellness, then it becomes not a one for all, but an individual journey, right? And that's where the problem is as an establishment, right? You think about big pharma and you try to get a blanket treatment that covers everybody and covers a wide variety, but we need to go where the technology and AI technology is really great. That is personalized medicine. That is precision medicine. So medicine designed just for you. So, okay, we all had a very long talk after a great show, up all night, big headache Monday morning, Lady J and Lady K, right? But we have to be at that 8 a.m. meeting, right? Now, what you need in the morning to revive you may not be the same as what I need or what Lady K needs, right? And I'll say even to the point of, even if it's, say, Advil or just a something for headache, right? How many milligrams I need may be different from what you need, may be different from,
Yes.
what either of you ladies need. So how do we use technology so that's embedded in the prescriptions and the medicines we receive now, right? And it's not that you have to go back and kind of figure this stuff out, but how is that built into the delivery system of the medical care that we give from the beginning? How does your medical care begin with understanding your genes, your DNA, how your enzymes work, right? Um, all of us here may be lactose intolerant because of a specific genetic variant that we've inherited that we know is in our population and our ancestry. But how that plays out may be very different, right? And so understanding that then, and the biggest part of this is there are essential amino acids and essential molecules that you have to get from nutrients. You have to consume it. You have to eat it. There's no other way to get it, right? This is where nutrients become so important. They're called essential amino acids is what makes up DNA. That's what makes up the essentials of you, right? So now if you're getting essential amino acids from your food, so when we say you are what you eat, that is literal, right?
Mhm.
And now, so we're saying then, how do you process these essential these essential amino acids may be quite different. And by understanding your hormones, right? You like your levels of estrogen, testosterone, DHEA, all these different type of molecules and different things with acronyms, right? If we understand that relationship with your lifestyle, with your anatomy, your physiology, we can treat you better. You can treat you better. You can understand you better. And that's exactly what my happy gene does. It looks at not only the genes and the epigenetic factor, it looks at the cofactors and the enzymes, the things that are related to the functioning of you. And why it starts to explain why do you function that way. And the reason I wanted Dr. Dunn and my happy gene to be expressed here, because again, it uses that technology, right? In a way that you can understand yourself as a human being, right? And you're it's less scary. So what you do then is And let me see if I can get to a little more visuals for you. But now it's very simple, right? You basically go to the website and you can order a kit. There are 5 different kits, but as a customer, you can order two. The other three have to be ordered by a medical practitioner. But these kits, again, they look at different things from your food and nutrition to enzymes as well as hormones. They look at cofactors. Cofactors are like vitamins, vitamins A, vitamin D, vitamin K. Because when you start to look at neurotransmitters, which is how the brain works, right? How the brain communicates. Um, this is why I wanted Dr. Dunn here. I don't want to steal her fire, but I'll just go into a little further why it makes so much sense. So this is called my happy gene for this reason. Um, Dr. Dunn, up until like after 40 years of age, have never experienced happiness before, right? What, excuse me, let me, so she has never experienced happiness. Let me see if I can close this. So she went on an investigation to kind of find out what was going on with her. And what she discovered, yes, perfect. Can you still see that screen?
Yes,
Yes.
Perfect.
thank you.
Okay. So yes, there, like I said, there are 5 kits. Two you can get, three your physician has to get. But these kits, which are around $300, what it does is you order basically a swab of the mouth and you send it in. It goes to a lab with a code. They analyze your epigenetics, these different things that we talked about, and then they send that back to you personally, and you have this information. Just only you have it. You can share it with your physician so then you can start to understand, or your caretaker, about what's going on. But what this does, it helps and explain how your body processes or makes, vitamin A versus vitamin K or D and different things like that, right? How do you process glucose or phosphate, these different molecules? And then when you put that all together, what does that mean for your health? Right? Or what foods are best for you specifically, and even at what times of year? Like, is there a seasonal effect? You think about depression, right? There's a link between, again, this cognitive and this physical. So understanding not just how it works, but how does it work for you as an individual. And so the importance of this is that it links, again, that the body and what you're feeling, what you're experiencing. You start to have some explanation. And the importance of this is, we think of individuals that might be obese or large, weight, can't stop eating for, and you're like, well, it's just easy to put down the food and don't eat for, they don't have to be obese, but just larger, right? Or someone who's really anxious, very stressed out all the time, or someone who's just really happy and then they're a little depressed and then they're happy. Brain is communicating these neurotransmitters, right? And by understanding that, then we can actually then use your diet and nutrition to be able to balance and offset some of these physiological imbalances, right? So as opposed to just filling you up with drugs, the idea is to understand what kind of foods you can eat that will give you the
Mm-hmm.
basis to
Mm-hmm.
produce
Mm-hmm.
what you need. So here's the example with Dr. Dunn. Dr. Dunn has never experienced, prior to coming up with my happy gene, like euphoria and happiness because her brain doesn't produce dopamine. Well, if you understand, dopamine is kind of that happy neurotransmitter. Drugs of abuse, it stimulates and hijack that system, right? And so you think about endorphins and things that make you feel good, right? So dopamine is that reward system in your brain, is what that active thing is. Well, in order to produce dopamine, you have to produce serotonin. Well, serotonin works in like a alertness of the brain, right? So you think about sleep and wake and things like that. So it's a different system in the brain. But here's the connection. In order to get dopamine, you have to produce serotonin. So
Mhm.
serotonin is a precursor to dopamine. Well, a precursor to serotonin is tryptophan. Tryptophan is you basically, in order to get tryptophan, you have to consume, which is a type vitamin D, right? Basically, tryptophan is vitamin D. In order to consume or produce vitamin D, you have to have certain levels of vitamin A and vitamin K. Well, you can get vitamin A and vitamin K through a diet. So once she was able to understand this and get that through her diet because she had this specific gene, once she was able to get vitamin A and vitamin K in her diet, it produced vitamin D, which then produced the tryptophan, which then produces serotonin, which then for the first time produced dopamine, and she experienced happiness in her life for the first time. And that was due to understanding herself and how nutrition plays a role. And that was the birth of my happy gene. And I think if anyone that's listening knows someone that is in a stressful situation, physically, mentally, emotionally, um, this may be part of the answer. This is not a cure all again, right? But it is part of the answer. And this is just to help you try to understand. It may be not, but it will definitely help you, always help you understand yourself better. It was
Mhm.
guaranteed to do that, right? And then on top of that's just the first part. The second part then is okay, now what do you do? Well,
Mhm.
there are nutritional pathways, right? Because now that you understand this connection, now you can understand there are behavioral cognitive steps that you can take with your professional caretaker to then and then recommendations through the analysis of what we talked about, this epigenetics, to then follow nutritional guidelines, behavioral guidelines to then better your life and have a better overall health and wealth and happiness. I will take a break. Any questions, ladies? I don't want to lecture, but this is yes.
No, this is
Some,
so good. This is so good. Go, Lady
someone is
K.
asking a question, DP. How does this test differ from 23 and Me?
Ha 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 ha. Okay, so that is like the ancestry, um, you know, kind of test and that. So the 23 and Me, this test is different because what we look at is we, again, as I explained, we look at the enzymes, we look at the cofactors, right? And so we're looking at the actual problem, not a symptom of the problem. You think about, hmm, I'll think of an example in a second, but if so we this differs because with this we are treating and looking at the cause of why you have the deficiency, not the deficiency itself, right? Or how the deficiency is displayed. So it differs like this, or with this approach, the solution then would be having the right nutrition to produce the right substrates to then give the body what it needs, right? The other way would be to flood the system with what you're already giving it because it's not producing enough of it, right? Well, you saturate the system at that point and become toxic, right? Because now you just have this thing laying around that can't be processed through the receptors because everything has to like key and lock, right? So now you just have more of this the sloshing around in the environment, not doing anything. It becomes toxic to the environment. Um, Again, so this again is looking at the individual, right? And how the individual, how do all of that play out in real time? And I think that's the importance and the difference again is the functionality, right? It's looking at function.
Wow.
Um, yes,
Wow. Thank you so much for explaining that answer, Dr. Raz.
I
no
mean,
problem.
so thank you. So
Yes.
This is how things are moving forward, because one is going through depression, and just to think about a way how my happy genes came to birth with Dr. Dunn, in not of has experiencing a level of happiness and joy and stuff in our life, and starting commencing this idea and doing all this test and doing the research and every single thing that came up with this space and this moment, that she was able to, after so many years, was able to experience a level of joy, level of happiness. So you're saying to someone tonight who might be or know family or friends that is suffering from anxiety, suffering from depression. So you're saying what they can do is take a look, purchase a kit, guide us from that moment.
Yeah. So you first always want to do your research, right?
Right.
Research is the most important thing. So knowledge, again, is the greatest power. So
Yes.
inform yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Understand, again, what is epigenetics? What is saying? Because we're speaking about a propensity here. This is not, you're not going to go and purchase this $300 kit and then solve cancer, right? That's not what we're saying here. But what we're saying is if you need a better explanation, if there are things going on, and this is where I really wanted Dr. Dunn again to speak about some of the anecdotal evidence of this technology, because again, we're being clinical trials where we're looking to increase the study size and the validation thereof. But what this is, it's telling you and suggesting and indicating based on your biology, your physiology, your chemistry, your anatomy, your genetics, your how you're behaving, cognition, your behavior, what we can observe. When you put all of that together, which technology is really good at pattern recognition, right? So being able to understand to a point that we are now being able to look at these different deficiencies in coenzymes and things and compare them with particular types of cognitive and behavioral personas and personalities, right? Like a person who is very anxious or high stressed, and someone who is always like aggressive and just angry all the time. And there's reason and rationale for this. And because just like the genes, things that we consume, there's a sweet spot.
Mm-hmm.
To think about the most important things, food and water. If you have too little or too much of either,
Right.
and air, I
Correct.
do food, water, and air, the three things that are essential for life,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't hoard them, right? Because too much
Right,
will kill
right.
you and too little will kill you. It's the same thing here with the epigenetics and and nutrition, right? So once we understand that, it's all about finding the scale where that slider is for you with this particular thing
Right.
in whether it's addictive behavior, right, or whether it's responding to hot foods, right, or spicy
Mm-hmm.
foods and things like that, whether you have a visceral or gut intergestinal response, your stomach response to certain types of food, whether you're lactose intolerant, how the sun impacts you, all types of things, how you process different foods, right? How different medications work with you, your irritability. It can explain so much, and then when you learn behavioral modification and nutritional awareness,
Mm-hmm.
you can cut a lot of medical bills out and time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
It's, listening to you, Dr. Ross, you're really helping an individual to understand more about themselves, about the happy genes, because many times we look at ourselves and we don't really understand what's happening in our lives. You know, we are very confused. We go to the doctor, we are only getting pills all the time. We are feeling depressed, we are feeling stressed out. But here you're telling us that there is another way, that we can try and see exactly the process with epigenetics, and how we can express ourselves in a more profound way when we understand ourselves in depth. My question to you is, what are some of the challenges in integrating neurotech tools into traditional wellness practices?
Excellent. Great question. There
Yeah.
are two challenges, two major challenges. The biggest one is easily overcome with effort. That's awareness. So awareness is the biggest challenge and the cheapest to um, overcome, right? Because we don't need all of the marketing dollars like before to bring
Mhm,
awareness. We're
mhm.
all connected like the brain, right?
Right.
So it's just a matter of sparking enough to signal that next neuron, that next nexus, right?
Right,
And then the
right.
next nexus until it's all connected and sparking together in synchrony. So awareness, I think, is the biggest thing. Once you're aware, however, resources, how technology costs money.
Right.
So I could know about the best technologies in the world, but if I have no resources to acquire and procure
True,
them,
true, true, true.
it's irrelevant.
Mhm.
So those are the two biggest things.
Wow.
How are you sure with that?
Hmm?
Yes, I'm sure. I'm
Hmm.
true. Yes.
Yeah. I was just gonna ask you, what role does this play with someone who has dementia?
Good question. Good question.
Thank you.
So, if we've been paying attention, class, no, so with
I
dementia,
like that.
actually,
Because you
have we
talk
have
about cognitive. Hmm.
as we have been learning, we're getting to a point. So just to back up a little bit, you think about aging and aging in place and aging well. So dementia and the different stages of dementia and then Alzheimer's and these things is a spectrum. And it's a spectrum of degradation from wear and tear, right? That becomes specific, but starts with mild cognitive impairment, MCI, which we all go through because if you think you ride a bike long enough, it's going to wear down, right? Well, our body's like that bike. Um, and so once you get past a certain level, there's a certain expected wear and tear. That's mild cognitive,
Mhm.
and you'll expect it. But if this wear and tear is advanced in its time in its onset, or if it's advanced in its severity, right? Then we start to get into these different stages of dementia, right? And then you have basically like four stages based on the severity of dementia that once you start to understand not only that behavioral aspect, but the anatomical and the physiological
Mhm.
differences, is it something related to breakdown of the blood, the vasculature, right? Or is it breakdown of the actual neuronal tissue, so the brain cells? Or is it a breakdown of the astrocytes and the helper cells that's in the brain, right? Is it a breakdown of the immune system cells? So these are all different systems that can bring different symptoms and features of what we know as vascular dementia, right? Versus neuronal or cerebral. And then you kind of see the same
Mhm.
thing in Alzheimer's disease as well, depending on the location within the brain and the type of tissue. Um, this can help you understand that. And even we think of two things. Everything that you just said there, as we understand more, we can then have some predictability in actually just determining the, again, the propensity or the probability of someone going down that path, where
Mhm.
these things with epigenetics, to make it simple, is this: you think you get a gene from your mom, you get a gene from your dad, that then makes up your, your genetic code. Well, some of these things we're talking about, when you're homozygous, meaning you get the same gene from your mom than you do from your dad, and these genes together causes that deficiency. What happens is, if it's heterozygote, meaning you've got one deficient one and one good one, then you are about your ability to work whatever we're talking about drops like 30%, right?
Mhm.
But when you have both now, from your mom and your dad, of these deficient things, now your function and processing drops to like 70%,
Wow. Wow.
right? So you went from where you was working at a 70% level compared to normal individuals that don't have this deficiency in their genes, right? And now that actually drops down. You're at a 30% functional level, right? And now this is just one gene, okay? We look at another gene and another, and then you got to add the combination of all this together. So this is why, again, the computers are so important, and AI
Mhm.
technology, to handle all this information. But to get back to what you said, we can use this technology to look at um, these different things that I talk about. Is it vascular? Is it brain tissue? Is
Right,
it the,
right, right.
is it immune? Um, are you male? Are you female? Were you an athlete? What type of lifestyle did you lead?
Mhm.
Did you lead?
Mhm.
All of these things, that you may not be able to pack into your mind, or me, or one person. We can pack all of it into a computer and say, put these all next to each other and find a relationship.
Mhm.
And so that's where we are with that. And I know we didn't get to it, and we'll get to it the next time here. But let's see, there is one thing where we go from here, is understanding what all of this means. Let me see if I can do one more share before we get out of here, people. I know you got another class to go to. Um, let's see here. Share screen.
Wow.
Okay.
Truly amazing.
It is. It's truly amazing because
Wow.
Dr. Ross is helping us to understand ourselves, And as he rightfully said when he started speaking, is that we all express in different ways.
By your individuality.
Yeah, and we
Hmm.
all need to understand that we express, we may come from the same mother and the same father, but we express differently. We have other siblings, but we express differently from the other siblings. And it's key for us to understand that.
Yeah, so let me see, am I sharing here? Gonna go out on this last screen here. Believe if I can get that up. Let's see. Okay. All right. So you talked about Alzheimer's.
Right.
So again, when we get to technology, this is something, and I know we don't have the time. Believe me, I could have taken up the whole 2 hours, but I digress. We have the Sensi Band 2, Neuro, which is another partnership I have. So, we have the ability, again, we have authorized resale. We can sell these. We also suppliers of these in the United States. But these are brain training devices. So it's a device that you basically use to train your brain. And importantly, it's non-invasive, meaning that it doesn't penetrate the brain to work, right? It reads electrical signals that's coming off of your brain. And by us understanding the brain, as I explained before, we can use that to then not only read what is happening in your brain and get an idea of that, but we can use that to train your brain, whether we can train you in different things like memory tasks, learning different memory tasks, spatial learning, mental flexibility. We have these different things, but also tying the mind to the body. So neurofit, right? You
Mhm.
talk about Alzheimer's and training the brain, mental activities, and doing these kind of mental exercises, but tying them to physical exercises as well, and that and using that combination is really important. We can also use these for children, and I won't digress, but this is fun stuff. So the neurofeedback, where kids are actually using and learning to use this technology to control games with their brains,
Wow.
right? And as a form of exercise. And so one of the videos I did send you, Lady J, is a video of one of the students from our class that's actually playing a game, and he's controlling it with his brain. So I sent that on LinkedIn to you directly. But we can use this in education. We can use this in clinic. You think about the VA hospital. You think about assisted or senior living centers.
Mhm.
There's
Mhm.
so much use for this technology. So the 1-2 is my happy genes. You understand yourself a little bit more about yourself, and then we have the Sensi Band here, Neuro device, which can help you then train your brain, right? Um, in that again, if you don't use it or lose it, the same thing goes that goes for your muscles, same thing goes for your brain. And the thing is, your brain goes much longer than as your muscles wear, you
Mhm.
have that brain that you can, again, it's more important. The more active you are, the older you get to be, it's more important, or it's more and more important to be active mentally.
Right.
So this is a way to do that and to put it normally in your life. This is intergenerational. I can keep going. It's very affordable. And we'll talk about more about next time, but I wanted to make that connection when we talk about technology, right? This is what we're talking about. Again, we have the parents, for practitioners. You can use it in the medical space, you could use it in educational space. Um, yeah, there's so much here, man. I'm really excited about this partnership as well, and what we're doing currently in the schools, but also what we will be doing in the clinics as well. So there's so much to go, and we'll talk about it some more next time as you guys learn about BCI and brain computer interface, and what because that's what that device is, right? Device that
Mhm.
basically communicates directly with your brain.
How do we ensure neurotechnology solutions are accessible to a broad range of people?
By being in the room, by creating a room, right? So being aware, and again, being a decision maker, and the way you be a decision maker is to be a part of the game. You have to play the game. You have to,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And so that's what all that I'm doing is my way of playing the game with the way that I'm comfortable and I can sleep at night. I think there was a
Yeah,
question.
there was a question. Yeah.
Can this be used by quadriplegics to power their chairs and other machines to help them adapt? Absolutely. And that's what's coming out of your mind, right? Wait till we get this in the hands of the kids of the future who have grown up on AI technology
Sure.
and what they
Sure.
come up with what this can do. And we'll be, as soon as we get the right funding and support, the kids are ready. I'm ready. So we're gonna get there. We're working hard to get there. We're slowly getting there. But yes, absolutely. You can control the TV. You can change channels, turn off the lights, your fan, whatever you want. That's where we are now. It's just how do you make that connection? And that's what the kids are learning. That's what we're teaching them. How do you connect? How do you talk to a computer? How does a computer talk to you? And oh, matter of fact, I'll leave it at that. I know I always say that and I come with something else, but this is what I do and I love it. But I'll leave you with one because this is exactly perfect because that's what I do. But let's see, I have to stop sharing the screen. But how do you learn? And this is where I hacktonia, right? Again, like hackathon. So what I've created was a thing called hacktonia. Hacktonia is a place. It's actually a place in your mind. And this place is what we created to teach kids how to reverse engineer AI technology, right?
Wow.
And so what we do is basically introduce them to, hey, this is a website. This is how a website works, right? We bring them what we call show them under the hood. And I do this by using myself and the AI we created called Just in Time, the time detective, right? And basically, what we do is create activities for the kids to learn because how computers and everything work is time stamped. Everything is time coded, right? And they also use, of course, symbols and colors. Those are the basics. Once we start going in and under any website, you can go in and actually learn, okay, what is this website made of? Why is this here? Why is this over here? How does that move? That can easily be done once you learn what's under the hood. So all of this stuff here that you see on the right is under the hood, and this is what we teach them in time is to understand computer language. But they're understanding that from websites that they know and love, right? So it makes it real to them. So we teach them how to think, how to reverse engineer the technology, and then how to reconstruct and actually build their own. Um, and so, yes, that's what we do at schools. Basically, welcome to Hacktonia. We have a demo day that we do for a small fee. It's $5 per student, which is pretty cheap.
Wow.
And yeah, we do 30-day activities. We're welcome to Hacktonia, which is a 30-day activity. We have summer programs. We have teacher program, where we teach teachers and certify them in using these AI technology as well. And what's really cool is every school that we work with, we design a mascot for them. Out of their school mascot, we design an AI technology that works with the students that is a representative of their school mascot. So they're always left with something that they can own and be representative of entering the new AI technology world.
It's really amazing. Wow.
Just
Truly
a little
amazing.
something. I'm saying a little busy.
Amazing. Truly amazing. And it's amazing because you and the team, you're thinking about the future, and the future is our generation. you know what can we give them? What can we pass on to them? And this truly is very inspiring, and it helps us to understand that our generation is taken care of. Once you place them in the right place, they will be taken care of, because you and your team created this space that you can give these children the right food to eat so they can nourish their brain, that could take them along life's journey in the right direction. Thank you for doing this along with your team. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. And this is definitely a team effort. To shout out Nick's No Code, and Karen Kilroy, because she has definitely been my mentor in this AI technology space. But there's so much more. Wait till next time. I got so much to talk about. But we'll get to it in time.
Yes.
But thank you, ladies, for the opportunity to even just
Yes.
begin to springboard a little bit of this stuff on you here. So
Yeah.
thanks for that.
Yeah. Thank you for
Yes.
taking the time. Lady J?
Wow. That's all I could say. Wow. I mean, you
Hmm.
provided us where things are moving, where we at and where are we moving forward, because it's evolution, and with AI and every single thing. And it is so beautiful because for so long people struggle with so many different things:
Yes.
anxiety, depression, obesity, and so the list
ADHD, yeah.
the list goes on. But it is comforting to know that with technology and with the level of advancement now, that help is there. Of course, you remind us to do your research on every single thing, provide yourself with the knowledge, but there is hope, there is optimism that
Yes.
you don't have to struggle anymore with everything you're going through. There is help with the level of guidance. Then you can move with a level of understanding, because it can look at you, see where you are, see what's happening with your body, see what have you been dealing with all along, what you're eating, what are some of your habits, what are your lifestyle, and it can help you with your diet, and it can help to restructure who you are as a person, and you can able to live a better quality, healthier lifestyle, not only surviving, but you're thriving. You can have the level of joy and happiness and peace that you so deserve. So we want to thank you, Dr. Dunn, and all the partners and everybody who you're working in partnership and collaboration to bring in this to the world globally, we should say.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing,
It is.
truly.
It's truly
and
amazing. It is
and
truly
and we, we
amazing.
we know this is your passion, you're excited, and for you to take this on, it's great.
Yes.
And you're having fun with it. You're having fun with it.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's just amazing.
The audio is a little messed up, but you can see from the video.
And that
Amen. Amen.
Sorry, sorry.
You
Okay,
know, just looking,
I was
sorry, go
just
right ahead.
trying to give a little. Sorry, I just the audio wasn't working, but I was just trying to give a little view. So that day we got over 500 students
Wow.
to touch a human brain for the first time
Wow.
in, I think it might have been maybe 4 hours, 3.5, 4 hours. So it was a really fun day and very exciting. And that's what it's all about, just getting them started, right? And then we can take it from there because we could take them from there to the actual classroom, to the actual surgery room, right, to the business room, to the boardroom, and back to the neighborhood, to the community centers, and right back around. And that's what we're here for.
When I look at that video that you showed just now, I can see some young scientists. I can see some young
Mhm.
scientists, and oh my God. Look, Dr. Ross,
It
thank you so much.
yeah, it's just wonderful. I mean,
It
words are not even there
pleases
to
us to see
describe.
that. Thank you. Thank
it's
you.
it's
Thank you. It's
I truly
truly
I can't let you.
amazing.
I can't let you go without this accent thing now. Um, where's the accent coming from? What is that? Talk to me. You can't hide it.
make
I know you've been
make a
trying to
guess.
ignore it. Now, tell me, I gave you all of that.
It's from the Caribbean. Make a guess.
I want to get specific. I want to know which parish you from. Talk to me. Spring Garden, Princess Margaret Hospital, born, right? Um, but where? It's so heavy. It's not. What are you gonna do about it?
Okay. It's next to Venezuela. It's next to Suriname. It's next to Trinidad and Tobago. It's next to Brazil.
We're taking you to geography
Close.
classes.
So you telling me everywhere it's not?
Right.
Wait a minute. We're not on a date here. Come on. What are we doing?
We are from Guyana.
Guyana.
So
Hmm.
Guyana. Okay, okay. Well, I sense the Caribbean accent in there. You recognize, your ears perk up whenever you hear a Caribbean accent
Bro,
somewhere because
bro.
it sounds like somebody in the family, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Uh, but thank you, ladies, for
Thank
tonight.
you.
It was beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. And
Yes,
we're looking forward. Maybe we can do a series, a couple of series. You can continue from here and move to soul, light, and body and just inspire, motivate, and help the world.
yeah,
Lady
great
We'll
K?
see what
job.
we can do. Definitely, it's good to stay in touch with the peoples, and I
Yeah,
have to do transfer to a place where I'm making money doing this, but I can definitely touch back with the community and, like you said, make
yes,
appearances and stuff like that. But
yes,
um, you know, building an estate is not free. It costs money. So I gotta charge people if I'm trying to get this legacy estate done, which
yes.
course I am, right? So, but
You
yeah,
will.
we can do some sort of charity thing, some fundraiser for some
Yes,
organization or some make it somehow so it's not that I need to make money from doing this, but it needs to be we can't just sit and talk.
right, right, right.
We got to do inspired action.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely. Wow.
Mhm.
Thank you for serving us so well.
Yeah, yeah. Let's give a round of applause.
Yes, thank you for serving us so well, Dr. Don. You did a fabulous job, because you bring us along on a journey to help us to understand this temple that we carry around every day and how
Mhm.
we should take care of it. The things that is necessary
Mhm.
for us to do in order if we want to live a quality life. What we should do. You're bringing cutting edge technology yourself, and the team are bringing cutting edge technology whereby we can use this technology to help to understand ourselves more in depth and not sitting there and saying there is no help out there. You created the help. We only got to come and get the help now to understand ourselves more in depth. Congratulations to you and the team. And thank you so much for all that you guys are doing to help us advance in this technological world that we're living in right now. Thank you so much.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Keep
Thank you,
keep
ladies.
keep up the great work.
Yes.
And to the audience, connect, connect, connect.
Yes, connect with Dr. Ross and Dr. J. Dunn, and
Yes.
just talk with them, and you will understand more. And you know what? It's Hakatana. It's the website
Hack,
for the kids.
Hacktonia.
Hactonia.
Hacktonia for the kids, and
Hacktonia.
you said it's only $5.
It's so our demo day, we do $5 per kid.
Mhm.
And we work exclusively with educational institutions. So this is not like a for business like entrepreneur. This is for education
Right,
specifically,
right.
Yes.
and we work in higher education too, but it's for educational institutions only. So we do $5 per child. We do a minimum of 100 kids, so it's $500. But they get 3 to 6 hours of planned activity where they actually come from there
Wow.
learning about the website, how to understand and navigate that. But then it's sort of pre-planning for the 30 days. So that is the 5 hour one is welcome to Hacktonia, just a demonstration. But what we're demoing is what we would do at a 30-day, a 4 week program, which would be an after school supplemental program. And that's 30 days in Hacktonia. And there they really get on an integrated weekly schedule after school where they're actually learning and building and have a product at the end of that. And
Wow.
so, we go the whole semester as well, summer camp and all that. But the other one, the 30-day, the $500 that you pay for that, which is $5 a kid, goes right into the 30-day one, which is that one is $5,000, but you only pay $4,500 for that now because you get a rollover 100% discount from the demo day goes into the next phase. And for the next phase, we have a teacher training where we'll train up to 10 teachers for $1,200, and then you'll deduct that $1,200 from the $5,000 for the 30 days. So you end up for the 30-day you pay $33,000 and you get all three components, the demo, the teacher training,
Mhm.
and a 30-day.
Mhm.
Um, you know, so and then we extend that 30-day another 60 days for $5,000, which right? A $5,000 is normally 30-day, 4 weeks. We give you 8 weeks for that since you did the demo, you did the teacher training, you got the
Mhm.
first 30 days. You get a whole nother 60 days, which just covers you then throughout the whole semester for another 5,000. And if you want, then your next semester, which is 90 days, 3 months, we'll give you that 90 days for $5,000.
Wow.
So it's really worth it's a low buy-in, but then you progressively save and you get more and more out of
Mhm.
your investment as time goes on.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. Connect
The
with
last
Dr.
thing
Ross.
I'll say
Go ahead, Dr. Ross.
the last thing that we do on that end is that for STEM programs that need recertification, we use this and we integrate. So this can actually be integrated into the actual school day class lesson, whether it's math, science, across disciplines or within one discipline. And we, make sure we build and design the courses so they cover the standards of the Board of Ed or whatever they're going to call it next. But whatever the state standards are, we make sure that we meet those standards in these programs that we design, but we can help in STEM recertification. So if your school needs to be recertified, we not only get you recertified in STEM, but if you want to upgrade from a STEM to a STEAM or a STREAM by adding art or research components to your program, we do that as well. And then finally, we also work at the district level. So if the district just wants to invest and we do multiple schools, 10, 20 schools within district, we can work that out as well.
Mhm. Wonderful. Wonderful.
So
You guys
beautiful.
make it so affordable.
Accessible too.
Yes, yes, yes. Wow.
But it
Truly
has to be, if
amazing.
you want people to get in, right,
True.
it
True.
has to be affordable. That's been a
Yes,
problem for a long time. And um, we can make it cheap. If you're invested, we're invested,
yes,
Hmm.
yes.
right?
Truly amazing. We can't wait for part two.
Right.
We can't wait for part two. Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for
Thank you.
enriching the space this evening.
You
Because
served us well.
yeah, he did. He did serve us well. He served us well.
Okay, so Lady J, you're gonna have to work on the accent for next week, cause next week we gotta do everything with the accent on it. We're going to do everything in Caribbean accent. So go get your Caribbean accent, practice all week, and then that's what we do next week. I'm so joking.
You know.
We just like your sense of humor.
Yeah. And I think what the beauty about it is that you're having fun, and
Yes,
that's what
I,
that's enriching. You're having
I
fun
love
with
this. This is
what you're
this is
doing.
not what I do, it's what I am.
Mm.
yes. I love that.
This is not what I do. This is what I
What I
am.
am. Love that. Yes.
I am is very powerful. What comes after the I am?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I am RAS, really a
Yes.
scientist.
Yes.
I am
True.
a researcher and scholar. I can
Hmm.
keep going. No,
Going.
I had a lot of time to work out a lot of this in my head.
Yeah, yeah,
Again, rise and shine. We can do
Sure.
this all day.
yeah.
This is beautiful.
It is
Thank
Thank you.
you.
beautiful. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And to the
Thank
audience, thank you so much for joining us this evening with your very beautiful questions. And I hope that Dr. Ross answer your questions. And please connect with him. Connect with him. If
Yes,
you have four, go ahead, Dr. Ross.
don't don't forget to submit your quizzes to Lady J and Lady K before so they can be graded before next week.
Yes. Yes.
Good. Good plug.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. So we can have those ready for him when he comes next week, and he's gonna be able to dive deeper and help you to understand more about the brain. It's all about the
Yes,
brain.
seriously, if you have really tell your audience throughout the week and what have you, bring some questions. Post some
Yeah.
before or after, or you can just spring them on me in the moment. I don't care. But bring some questions. Let's have a discussion. I don't want to lecture and preach. I want to have a conversation.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Very interactive. Yes.
Yes. Beautiful.
Thank you once again. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Have a great week.
To the audience, have a wonderful week. Looking forward to see you guys again here next week.